Hello, my name is Brittany. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back, all that fun stuff. We are going to be talking about Kindle today. You can kind of think of this as an update to my first Kindle video that I posted. It's going to be a Kindle Unlimited specific video because I think the last time I went through every single book that I had on my Kindle. We're just going to talk Kindle Unlimited today. We will talk about books that I have read via Kindle Unlimited, books that are currently in my Kindle Unlimited library. So let's get into it. I have my computer here. I use the Hardback Hoarders book tracking system, and I created a Kindle Unlimited tab off of the library books tab that she already had in there to kind of help me see what books I've already read and what books I have on my Kindle without actually having to go on to my Kindle. Let's talk about it. Some of these books are going to be the same books that I had on here in September when I first started talking about Kindle on this channel. Some of them are going to be new. First, though, I want to talk about the books that I've already read, and you'll be able to find videos on this channel where I've read these books. The tracker that I have tells you what month you checked it out, what the title is, who the author is, if it's part of a series. You can mark off if you've read it. But my favorite part of this tracker is that it tells you the amount saved. I want to talk about every book that I've read and how much that book would have cost me if I actually purchased it. And then I'll tell you at the end whether I think Kindle Unlimited is going to remain worth it for me. And you're just gonna have to listen to my dog wrestle with her toy over there. This is just the way that it goes here. It's chaos hour all the time. The most recent book that I've read is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I saw this book at Barnes & Noble when I went to Barnes in December, and I don't know how much it costs there, but I do know that if I purchased it off of Amazon, it would have been $9 even for the Kindle version. So I saved $9 by having a Kindle Unlimited subscription. I also read Don't Let Her Stay by Nicola Sanders. Had I purchased the ebook version, which will just operate off of what's the cheapest version, that would have cost $4, thereby making my Kindle Unlimited subscription free for the month of December, if we're girl mathing it, you know? I've read Charm by Tracy Wolff, which is part of the Crave series. I want to say that's book 5. I didn't know that the Crave series was on here. I had been placing those books on hold through Libby for the longest time because I refused to hold those 1,000 page books in my hands. So once I discovered that the Crave series was on here, I started borrowing them from Libby. And then I realized that the last book, Cherish, is not available on Kindle Unlimited, so I had to go back into Libby and place it on hold. That book, if I bought it, would be $12, thereby making my Kindle Unlimited service free. I borrowed Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney in November. That was our Murder Robe book club pick. That book was $13. In November, I also borrowed Rules of the Game Book 1, which is called Offsides by Avery Keelan. $5 for that book. We borrowed The Pact by Belle Harper in July, and then I read the book in November, and then needed to borrow The Lie, also by Belle Harper, because I needed to continue the series, Rebels of Ridgecrest High. Both of those books were $4. I decided to cease the series. I won't be saving any more money off of the Belle Harper books, but that's okay. In October, I read an entire series of books by C.M. Stunich, the Havoc Boys series, Havoc, Chaos, Mayhem, Anarchy, Victory at Prescott High, all of them at Prescott High in the title. Those books ranged anywhere from $5 to $7 for the ebooks, and having read all of them in October, the first month that my Kindle Unlimited subscription started to bill me, I felt like that was a win. In July, I also borrowed The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I want to say that was our October Murder Road book club pick, so it felt good to be able to have that book for free basically because I didn't end up actually enjoying it. That book's $4, and I read that, like I said, in October. July, I also borrowed Credence by Penelope Douglas because your girl is not infallible when it comes to things that she sees on Book Talk, and that was when I was on Book Talk, and now I made my way off of Book Talk and then somehow made my way back on, and people are still talking about Credence. That book's $5, and I'm glad that I borrowed it from Kindle Unlimited because I would have been mad if I wasted $5 on a book that I did not want to have in my collection because that book's crazy. And then the very first book that I read via Kindle Unlimited was Tapestry by Beth Duke, which I borrowed in July because I started my subscription to Kindle Unlimited in July of 2023 because this was a Murder Road book club book selection as well. So I started my subscription so that I could read Tapestry and then just have continued it. And I really enjoy it. It's making ideas that I have for this channel a lot more easily accessible to me, so I'm having a lot of fun done with it. Let's talk about the books that I haven't read and how much those books would have cost me had I actually purchased them instead of using my Kindle Unlimited subscription. After I read Rules of the Game, the first book, Offsides, I wanted to borrow Shutout by Avery Keelan. So that book is $5 and it's in my Kindle right now waiting for me to read it. Because hockey romances just keep getting suggested to me, we have Bending the Rules by Mariah Dietz. That would be $4 if I buy it. The Keeper by Bella Matthew, Playing to Win Book 1, $5. Darling Madness, which is a book that I think that I've not talked about, by Rosemary A. Johns. It's The Lost Boys of Never Book 1. That would be $6 if I bought it. We also have Pretty Monster. I think this is a newer book that I've borrowed. It says that I checked it out in November. This is by Sheridan Ann. It would be $5 if I purchased it. With me not knowing how some of these authors are as writers, I prefer reading via Kindle Unlimited before I purchase their books in a physical form. And I'm glad because I keep hearing about Frida McFadden on TikTok and on YouTube. And with The Housemaid, I just didn't really jive with it. So I'm glad that I have Kindle Unlimited as a resource to see if I want to continue reading these authors that I'm discovering. In July, I also borrowed Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. That would be $5 if I purchased it. This one I've already talked about on the channel. Lily Gold's Faking with Benefits is on here. That would be $4. We have The Taken Ones by Jess Laurie. Steinbeck and Reed Book 1 at $5. Blackwood Institute by J. Rose. This is a complete trilogy of books. It would be $10 if I purchased it, but it would be nice to just have the complete trilogy and work my way through it. In the Dark by Jack Slater, which is Blake Larson Book 1, $4. City of Thorns by C.N. Crawford, The Demon Trials Book 1, $4. The Lodge by Jeremy Eads, $8.99, $9. The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. This one is circulating Book Talk very heavily, $5. I think that that's part of a series. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. The book in question here was published by Minotaur, so I'm not sharing the title. The Hanging Tree, Cole Rayburn Historical Mysteries Book 1 at $4. The Surgeon by Leslie Wolfe is $4. And then we have Taking Seraphine by Gigi Sticks. This is a newer book that I've borrowed. It's $5. And then I also have Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I'm not quite sure if I want to get into the Haunting Adeline series, duology rather, so I think that this is going to be a good step into H.D. Carlton's books. It's $5 if I buy it, and I know that Haunting Adeline is available on Kindle Unlimited. And then the most recent book that I borrowed is called The Influencer by Miranda Ricks, I think is how you say the last name. It's $4 to buy that book. It's my opinion that if I read at least 2 books via Kindle Unlimited per month, that it's going to be worth it for me to keep my subscription. So that's what I'm going to be working toward this month, seeing if I can read at least 2 books. I already have my next book picked out for my Kindle, which I'm going to start tonight. I do think that it's worth it. If I were to read every single one of these books, I will have saved myself almost $200. And that is to say that as soon as I finish a book on Kindle Unlimited, I am checking out another book. So that's just gonna keep adding up. As of right now, out of all the books that I've borrowed from Kindle Unlimited, I've read almost 50% of the books that I had in my collection. So I feel like I'm doing great with maintaining it. And I am, like I said, keeping the subscription. So let me know if you're a Kindle Unlimited subscriber in a comment down below what you would recommend for me, knowing that I like thrillers and I like romance. What would you recommend? If you like the video, leave me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.